Why am I, a practicing, you might even say card-carrying Zen Buddhist, so drawn to these services that our UU pagan group does for us from time to time? I asked myself that question a few weeks ago when Maura and I started working on this service together. And my reflection today is an answer to that question. Why are the pagan-led services here so resonant and so meaningful to me? First, what do I mean by paganism? Well, I'm not at all an authority on pagan beliefs or practices, so what I'm going to do here is just briefly sketch out my own impressions, perhaps projections, of latter-day paganism, so you'll know what I respond to. If I'm off base, I'm sure I'll hear about it. So I'm talking about neo-paganism, which draws on the beliefs and practices of ancient pagans in Europe, the Middle East, and native peoples worldwide. In a few broad strokes, this is what comes forth for me. Neo-paganism is an earth-centric religion. Pagans understand and experience the earth and nature as sacred. They see interconnectedness in all of life through ecological and celestial systems, as well as human relationships. They embrace with care and respect the earth in all its aspects, including dirt and decay, bodies, sexuality, death, birth, growth, the patterns, the rhythms, the cycles of life on our planet. Also woven into neo-paganism now is the field of permaculture that seeks to align agricultural practices with nature's own intelligence. You saw some of that kind of intention in the video that we saw earlier. The neo-pagans seem to me to embrace both modern science and meld it with reverence. Ecofeminism and goddess worship are also part of the neo-pagan religion, celebrating feminine archetypes of giving life and nurturing, in contrast with the patriarchal mainstream culture that discards broad swaths of humanity through racism and sexism and endangers life on our planet. May the goddess save us from ourselves. These neo-pagans also seem to emphasize participation in their groups. They favor non-hierarchical models of engagement, and they are committed to working for social justice for all. And the pagans know all about ritual. They bring it. I love how they summon our human power to invest special meaning in certain acts and symbols, in events and spaces that we create. I think the pagans enact what we know deeply, that ritual can bring us together to focus and notice what is most important, what is most beautiful, what is sacred. And they know that ritual can change us. Then there's the practice of magic, a dimension of paganism for some practitioners. Magic is a bit beyond my ken, but I do believe in the extraordinary force and impact that human intention can have for good and evil through words and acts. So that's what neo-paganism looks like to me. And I first became acquainted with the movement in the 1980s when I was in grad school. And I definitely needed a sort of respite from the hyper-rational courses that I was doing. And so in the 80s, there was, in the Bay Area and actually nationwide, a new movement that arose neo-pagan, eco-feminist, goddess-worshipping that was led by a San Francisco-based woman named Starhawk, whom many of you will know. I bought her book then, The Spiral Dance, which was a bestseller at the time, I think clearly speaking to the needs that it addressed in our culture. And I experienced those ideas, Starhawk's ideas, as liberating and life-affirming. I even got to attend a big Halloween or Samhain happening in San Francisco during that time, and I was enchanted. These wonderful rituals release me from my own head and into nature and the cosmos, the undeniable vastness and mystery that we're in, and a feeling of gratitude for nature's beauty. I hear the call to live in reverence toward and respect for the earth. And that is why I love these cup services. And as UUs, we get to have it all. I feel the pagans awaken us to share deep truths, and they enchant the world. I believe that they are widely, if clandestinely, influential in our culture, subversive, you might say. And as I said, I don't entirely understand the dimensions of magic, but I hope and request that they can cast a loving spell on all of humanity as soon as possible. I'll close with this from Starhawk, a brief chant. What serves life will stand, what does not will fall. The power is in our hands, love changes all. Blessed be.